The election happened. Labor's in power. Yeehaw. More of the same. Let's go. Maybe they'll fix it by the end of their next term. Here's my thoughts on the election, all right? And sorry, this was late, okay? Because I obviously I was supposed to do a podcast yesterday, but I got the stupid idea into my head that I should write a giant election analysis video, and not only should I write it, but I should also film it, edit it, and release it in like one day. And somehow I did that, and then I was surprised when I woke up on Saturday and yesterday on Sunday, and I just had no fucking energy to do this podcast. But I am here now. I'm recording this on a Monday at, what's the time? 5:04 p.m. So, sorry, but it's here. Dude, I had the funniest voting in Frankston. This is my first time voting in Frankston because I think one of the elections was maybe COVID or something. I think I voted early near where my parents lived. So I wasn't in Frankston. This is the first time I've ever voted in Frankston. And let me tell you, even if I move out of Frankston, I'm not voting anywhere else. If you, next election, I don't care who you vote for, just make sure you vote in Frankston because it is super exciting. It was so good. I voted early, which I thought would be quicker. It actually was way longer. I was in line for about 30 minutes, which I thought would be terrible. But I tell you what, it was riveting. It was absolutely fucking exciting. Watching the absolute nutters come in and out of the polling booth was incredible. Running the gauntlet of the volunteers. I don't know if Americans or my European gremlins have this, but in Australia, on your way into the voting booth, you got to walk past every single fucking party's volunteers handing you flyers, telling you how to vote. And, you know, you've got Labor there, you've got Liberal there, you've got One Nation there, we had the Greens there, and then there were a couple of independents there. So, like, literally, I had 10 hands in my fucking face all the way to the line. You know? It was ridiculous. But what I really like about this is I love watching the volunteers profile people as they come up. Me, I get offered a flyer by everyone because on one hand, I dress like I do, which could be Labor, could be Greens voter. All right? Because I dress a little bit lefty, a little bit like a gay guy. But on the other hand, I'm like a very big white guy. So Liberals and One Nation, they're always trying to give me flyers too, because everyone's a little bit confused about where I'm going to be voting. And I like taking flyers from everyone because I like to take the flyer from the party that I agree with, and then see how they would like me to vote. And then I like to take the flyers from the parties that I don't agree with, so that I can make sure that the parties they tell me to vote for, I put them at the bottom. You know, I'm taking flyers from everyone. I also, you know, you're standing in line for 30 minutes. You might as well read all the material you get offered because you're going to be there for a while. Unfortunately, no one from the Palmer United Party was there. But when I was in line, standing there for 30 minutes, no word of a lie, literally, every single person in line got at least one text from Palmer United. It was so funny. I just kept hearing smatterings of, oh, another text. Did you get this one? No, I got this one. Huh? From everyone in the line. You know what's weird, actually? I didn't get a single text. I don't think I got one text from Clive Palmer. But everyone else in my life got a text from Clive Palmer. I didn't get one. Why not? My number's not on their list? What if I search Palmer? Oh my God, I didn't get a single text from Trumpet of Patriots. Or maybe I got to search Trumpet in my text. I have 1,300 unread text messages. No, I didn't get a single text from Clive Palmer. I guess my vote doesn't count. I must not be registered if they don't have my phone number. That actually makes me feel quite good if they don't have my phone number. That's great. But anyway, right, I love watching people coming in get profiled, okay? Immediately, anyone wearing like a knitted sweater that they got from an op shop that's like far too loose and very brown and secondhand, straight away, Liberals are going, I know who you're voting for. You don't want a flyer from me. You know, they're like half-ass going, what do you like? They're not even finishing the sentence. Would you like they're just waiting to get called a bigot? Would you like a fuck off bigot? Okay. I did feel sorry for the Liberal volunteers. They were copping it. You know? They were copping quite a bit of abuse from a lot of people as they was trying to hand out their flyers. Absolutely not. Liberals, if you're a Seppo, is our like center right party. It's like our Republicans, right? And so I'm taking flyers from everybody, and there were just nutters, right? I love the nutters. There was one lady that I don't even know why she was there at all. I don't even know how she was eligible to vote because she was the most like Walmart American I've ever seen in my life. Okay, I've never been to a Walmart, but I know that if I went there, I would see at least 100 of her. I'm surprised she wasn't in a fucking mobility scooter with an American flag taped to the back of it. She was there absolutely decked out. Mind you, to vote in the Australian election, she was decked out with like an American bandana, American flag bandana, like that fucking, that guy that beat Joey in a Yu-Gi-Oh card game, the American bloke. And then there was she was wearing like a hoodie that had an eagle on it, an American flag, and then had like something about gun rights on the back and the Constitution. Mind you, this is in Frankston. And then she also had a QR code, which I did discreetly try to scan as I was standing in line because she was one ahead of me. But because she was so fat and rotund, the QR code had completely warped and molded around her fat folds that I couldn't get a read on the QR code. So then I tried to just kind of read what it was saying me to search for, but I couldn't make it out. Again, because most of the text had actually been sucked into one of her back tits. You know when someone's so fat they got titties on their back? It was that type of scenario. And she had like a handbag that was also an American flag. Like it was like, I don't know who the fuck she voted for. I can only imagine that she tried to vote for Trump somehow through our electoral system. And when she was talking to the guy, it sounded like she had never voted before, so she didn't really know what was going on. He was explaining to her how to vote. You know, vote above the line, you put 6 numbers down, or vote below the line, you got to put at least, 20 numbers down or whatever it is, right? And she's asking clarifying questions in the thickest American accent ever. I don't know how the fuck she got in. It's like she flew down to save Australia from ourselves and cast one. If I had to guess, I would say that she probably voted One Nation, not because she knew anything about their policies, but because she, like, that's the most American sounding, like One Nation under God. That's who I reckon she voted for. But I'm in there and dude, I'm voting properly, man. I do it. I think about it the day before. That's how I do it. Is I look at all the parties and all the people and I do my research and then I figure out in my head what preference I'm going to give them all and who's going up the top and who's going down the bottom. And that's how I do it. And I like to give a few nutter independents a very high vote on the tier list. That's what's really fun about voting in Australia is you're essentially doing a tier list, you know? Like, I like this person the most, I like that person the least. Our electoral system is essentially just the MySpace best friends list where you go, here's my favorite party down to my least favorite party. And I think that is the best voting system there is because it means that every party gets a little piece of the pie instead of just like, and then I feel like every voter gets heard at least a little bit. Whereas when it's just popular vote, or even worse, the weird Frankenstein version of the popular vote in America where like a candidate can get the most votes but still lose the election. And even worse than that, where a candidate can get 100% of the votes, but then Joe Biden can cheat and win the election with fraud. At least in Australia, when you vote, you know you're like it's actually going to do something. And even then, I acknowledge it's a fucked, broken system and we don't really get what we want. But this, in my understanding, gets everyone the closest they could, and we'd probably be a lot worse off if it were just popular vote. Who else was there? There was, there were just like, so I've never seen this before. So obviously at all the polling booths, you've got your volunteers from each party, right? So the Labours were there in their red shirts. This is our left-wing party. Must be very confusing to Americans. We really are upside down world. And then on the right party, they're blue, even more confusing, and they're called Liberals, right? So they're on the right wing and they're like red and blue, and then the Greens are there. They're wearing their green T-shirts. One Greens volunteer, a girl, she looked about 15 years old, was wearing a Minecraft creeper hat, which I really loved, and it was exactly the same color. And that says a lot about the Greens party, doesn't it? Like they've got a very autistic 15-year-old girl, and that's who they're putting as the face of their party. Do they want any boomer votes? Do the Greens want a single vote from the boomers? I don't think they do. Have you seen that guy that has like the nose piercings and the colored hair and wears the makeup, and that's their candidate? I'm all for being an ally, and I support all gender orientations, but do you guys want to win an election or not? Sometimes you got to lean into the bigotry a little bit if you want to win. Sometimes you got to lean completely out of bigotry if you want to win. I mean, have a look at the NBA during racial segregation. Like after it ended legally, you know, some of these racist white coaches were like, well, I hate losing even more than I hate blacks, so let them play. And the more racist coaches were like, no, I'm standing by my principles. I don't want to let them play. And they weren't coaches for very long. Because what matters more than anything else is winning. The Liberals obviously lost, right? And apparently it's one of the worst losses they've ever had since the last worst loss they've ever had, which was the last time we had an election. So it's even worse than last time. And let me tell you, I'm pretty sure I said on this podcast years ago they were going to lose the next election. I feel like I said this. I've definitely said this out loud somewhere. There is no fucking way you can win an election when your candidate is a guy that looks like Peter Dutton. All right? That guy could be the leader of the fucking... Oh, am I peeking here? Sorry if this is too loud. I really hope that it's not too loud. That guy could be the leader... I'm turning it down a little bit. Sorry. If I've just done 14 minutes of just fucking peaking audio, I'm going to flip out. I'm going to have to check, because if I've done that, I probably got to start again. 1 second. Fucking... All right. We're all good.